Hello everyone and welcome to a Dead by Daylight dive into the lore of the Wraith, a man with a tragic past that turned him into a perfect killer for the entity's future. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on the subject, and of course if I miss anything, feel free to comment down below, but without any further delays, let's talk about what we know of the Wraith. Going back to when the Wraith was human, a small boy of Nigeria by the name of Philippe Ojomo, his father had a bell used for alerting his village of incoming dangers of enemy militia. His mother and father hear on a radio broadcast promising safety to those hiding, and they left to investigate with a few others. Before they left, however, his father gave him that bell to uphold that same duty, leaving Philippe to wait for them, staring at the dirt road leading out of the village, hoping for their return. He's heard stories of the endless massacres and sees only a few return with wounds and horror stories. Countless stories of death, destruction, and mayhem. As the days continue on into nights, back into days, he waits, but his grandmother approaches, asking if he sees anything, to which he shakes his head no. He wonders if his parents will come back. His grandmother, most likely sparing his feelings somewhat, responds, stating she doesn't think they will, as they're hiding before disappearing into a thatched home. Philippe, with a tear slipping down his face, knows that he'll never see them again. The days continue on, and one day when Philippe is with his grandmother Abigail, they hear someone ring a warning bell, his grandmother quickly taking them to a hatch outside, where they sit underground, overhearing the sounds of slaughter vibrating through the ground. Afterwards, it's silence, to which his grandmother tries to distract him with challenges of math problems. Before he can answer it, though, a cry from a toddler rips through the silence. His grandmother gets up to try to save the kid outside, where Philippe begs her not to go, but she can't leave the boy out there alone. His grandmother never comes back, as he loses track of time solving math problems to avoid the truth of what has happened to everyone he knew, feeling guilt that he didn't warn them, that he didn't ring his bell to save them. He wanders alone, no one by his side, waiting for death to take him as starvation and dehydration kicks in before he is saved by someone almost like a mirage. Bonanya is the woman who finds him, a woman and several children giving him a sliver of hope of a better future. For a while it seems okay, the worst having passed, though it still haunts him, still fills him with rage. He wants the men that did this to his village and family to suffer, and wants justice, and where she wants them to pray for mercy, he would rather pray for vengeance. He hasn't had a good night's rest in quite some time, and soon it's his time to watch the darkness, to watch for killing crews. His eyelids are like stones, and as he holds his bell close to his heart, for just a moment, he closes his eyes. Just for a moment, and a moment is all it took. He awakens to the morning to find that the killing crews got to them too. His new friends are in pieces, and Funanya is not dead, but dying. Sliced at every tendon, writhing in agony as honey has been poured over her, and millions of ants now feast upon her still-living body. Philippe is mortified and tries to help, but to no use. She can't speak either as she tries to tell him something, but her tongue has been removed. He kneels before her explaining and apologizing over and over again. As she writes in the dirt, "I forgive." Tears falling, he raises his hand to her face. He doesn't want to do what needs done, but he has to. And as she closes her eyes, he covers her mouth and nose, becoming her angel of mercy. Soon after, Philippe finds a killing crew, perhaps the very same that destroyed his village, killed those who tried to help him. He thinks on how he's going to enact his revenge. Before long, he waits till nightfall, tears streaming down his face in anger and sadness for those who've died, sneaking through the camp as the soldiers are fast asleep. Around a warm fire, he finds a nearby gas can. Silently pouring gas on each soldier, gently enough to not rouse them from their slumber, he finally sets the can down, facing the fire, and with a well-placed kick, causes the can to fall over, pouring what remains towards the fire, igniting the camp. A once determined Philippe is now met with horrors of men screaming and being burnt alive as some of the flames lap up his arm. immolating him as well in the chaos. As the screams die down and all that remains are charred skeletons that collapse under their own weight, Philippe runs back into the night at such speeds it extinguishes the flames that cling to his body. Now covered in burns, exhausted and wounded, he lays on the ground ringing his bell to signal, perhaps for help, for those who raided this village. This is not the only story of tragedy though for Philippe, as when he grows up older, he soon leaves the home country of Nigeria for assumedly United States Virginia. I say assumedly due to no real information being stated to confirm this aside from the Virginia license plate offering that once burned increases one's chance to being sent to Autohaven Wreckers. Autohaven Wreckers being Philippe's place of work, wanting to start a new beginning for himself. He's happy to be offered the job there. It's a small scrapyard, though it's where bribed cops turn a blind eye for the shady business that the owner does, a man named Azarov. Philippe, though, doesn't care. He's seen criminal activity before up close, and he doesn't want to get involved, and as such, he lets things be. He continues to fix cars that he can and handles the crusher for the cars he's told to crush. On one gloomy day, however, perhaps by accident, he sees a pool of crimson, blood, coming from one of the uncrushed cars. He opens the trunk to find a young man inside, gagged, with his hands tied, and panic filling his eyes. Philippe frees him, but as the man runs for freedom, Azarov catches him and slits his throat. Philippe, enraged, demands answers, to which his boss explains that he's been an executioner, as almost every car he's crushed held someone much like that man. It was a service the scrapyard provided to certain clients. This is Philippe's final straw. Mentally snapping, he goes ballistic, throwing his boss into the crusher and lets it slowly compress. The head sticking out, Philippe grabs it, pulling the skull and the spine along with it, which he leaves and is never seen again. The Wraith story speaks of a boy steeped in tragedy, but also that of revenge, anger, and death. When these things happened to him, he wanted to just disappear, to vanish to where no one could find him. Even after Autohaven Wreckers, after his act against Azarov, he simply disappears. He's a victim that has been twisted to become the entity's angel of death, a shadow that creeps upon those who lurk within, seeking to flee. That is all the time that I have for right now, but in the meantime, let me know your thoughts and theories, as I'd love to hear them. Let me know if I missed any details, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on future videos. Some videos being Let's Plays, and some being these lore and theory videos that will be posted at least once a week. Don't be afraid to let me know on some other subjects you'd be interested in seeing, and hopefully, I see you all in the next video. See you then.